So whenever you're ready, coming down onto your back, find a nice supine position. Feel free to take up as much space as you want. We will be here for a little bit, so feel free to find a spot where you can relax, where you can kind of start to let go. The arms can be extended out long. If you feel pressure in the low back, don't be afraid to bend the legs. Maybe find a butterfly pose, soles of the feet together, knees wide, to see how that feels on the low back. You can even find the opposite in a constructive rest pose. Bring the knees together and send the feet wide and see how that feels. But find a position in the legs that feel best, especially for the low back. And then maybe snug the shoulder blades up underneath you, relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears, keeping space between the shoulders and the ears. And then maybe open and close the mouth, really relax through the face, the jaw, and even see if you can soften the tongue. But really allow the body to relax. Allow the body to feel supported, feeling the ground, the earth underneath you. But just giving the body some space here to be. And then if you need to, maybe check in, see what's happening up in the mind. Acknowledge any lingering thoughts. If you need to, you can always place your to-do list off to the side. Know that it will be there for you after class. And an option to start to connect with the breath. Just noticing where the breath is at tonight. Maybe it's in the chest, the belly. Maybe it's a little choppy. Maybe it's long. Just noticing it, try not to judge. And then if it feels right, always an option to maybe start to extend the breath. As you inhale, you can take it through the nose, starting to fill the belly, fill the chest, carry the breath all the way up to the crown of the head. Find this expansion. And then as you exhale, slowly let it go. Emptying out to the throat, the chest, and then the belly. So only if it feels right, explore really lengthening the breath, taking full inhales, feeling the chest, the belly rise, expand. And then full exhales, feeling the softening of the body, letting everything disappear. And tonight, feel free to, be here with the breath, allowing the mind to come back to the breath whenever you need to. Whenever the mind wanders off, whenever maybe the mind wants to give up, you can always come back to the breath, allowing the breath to help you reset, to maybe help you let go. And then you can stay here with the breath, or option to maybe connect with your crown chakra, Svadhisthana. And this location is right, on top of the head, kind of floating above the head. And this chakra is associated with maybe gold or violet, or sometimes I like to think of it as this pure white light. So option to imagine this pure white light, this ball of energy spinning right at the crown of the head. And the crown chakra is connected with your nerves, your lymphatic system, connected with the brain, but it's also considered to be the portal to divine oneness, the universe, and the cosmic consciousness. An open crown chakra denotes a solid connection with your higher self and your spiritual advancement. This is a really empowering place. You kind of see the connection between all beings. You can also offer this pure white light to not only yourself, but to everyone, every being, this planet, this earth. So tonight, as you practice, you can always set any intention that serves you, or option to maybe set an intention that's associated with the crown chakra. If nothing comes to mind, I offer up this intention, this statement of I am peaceful, whole, and balanced. I am peaceful, whole, and balanced. I am peaceful, whole, and balanced. So if you have an intention or maybe just a focal point tonight, feel free to set it now. You can always place it at the third eye, the space between the eyebrows. And then take a deep inhale in through the nose, start to fill up, fill the belly, the chest, maybe hold the breath at the crown of the head. And then big open mouth, exhale, side out, let it go. Beautiful. One more deep inhale in through the nose, fill up, feel the body expand. Big open mouth, exhale, side out, let it go. And then letting your breath come back to that normal rhythm, normal pace. It can be in and out through the nose. And then you can stay here for as long as you want. But whenever you're ready, slowly start to reawaken. You can wiggle the fingers, the toes. Maybe roll the ankles, the wrists. Let the head rock heavy side to side. And an option to take that nice full body stretch. Reach the arms up overhead, send the legs long, take some wiggles, find some length, some space in the spine. You can stay here or slowly start to bend the legs. Feet can come to the mat. See how this feels. Maybe sway the knees side to side. Or maybe start to float the feet off the ground. Knees can start to draw towards the chest, allowing the low back to reach to the mat. You can stay here, find some circles with the legs. Go one way, go the other. You can even grab for the shins or maybe the thighs. And then you can stay here or wind moving pose. Right leg will draw in. Left foot can come to the ground or maybe extend the left leg, finding some space in the front of the left hip. And then starting to bring your awareness to the right hip. So just see what the right hip needs. Maybe sway the knee side to side. You can even roll the ankle. But check in, see where the shoulders are at. Try to relax the shoulders. See if you're clenching the jaw. And then slowly drawing the right knee over towards the right shoulder. You might feel a little pinch in the hip flexor. Start to give the right knee a squeeze. And then you can always stay here, or maybe start to work the forehead towards the knee. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Feel the belly pulling in. Low back will start to draw to the ground. Maybe even flex the left foot and then lift the left leg. Find a little core activation if that feels right tonight. And then take an inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then slowly draw the left leg in to meet the right. And then draw the head back towards the ground. Relax. Pull both knees into the chest. Maybe find a little sway here. And then when you're ready, moving into the left side, wind moving pose. Right foot can come to the ground or maybe extend the right leg long. And feel free to explore the left side. Sway the knee side to side, roll the ankle, point flex the toes. And see if you're clenching the jaw, the shoulders, try to soften. And then you can stick with the movement or feel free to find stillness. Maybe left knee kind of draws towards the left side, finding a pinch in the hip flexor, the psoas. And then your choice. Do what feels right tonight. Stay here. Maybe start to lift the forehead towards the knee. Draw the belly in. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Maybe this is enough tonight, which is great. Or you can always explore flexing the right foot, hang here, or maybe slowly lift the right leg. Make sure to breathe. Relax the shoulders. Big inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then slowly draw the right leg in. Pull both knees into the chest. Head can slowly come back to the ground. Awesome job. Release. And then whenever you're ready, place the feet back on the ground if they're not there. And we're going to kind of take a little bit of a counter stretch from that. So just a little bridge pose. So feet will come hip width distance. Hands can come to the side. Maybe fingertips reach for the backs of the heels. And then drive the heels into the ground. Slowly lift the hips high. Kind of coming onto the shoulder blades. And we're not going far here. Just a little lift. Starting to just kind of lengthen out the front body, especially these psoas, these muscles that are right in front of the hips. Which these muscles tend to be compressed and weak because of sitting, driving, maybe kind of overrunning or biking. So see if you can find a little bit of length here in front of the hips. And then bring the awareness to the inner thighs. Inner thighs are drawing in without moving. And then make sure to breathe here. Take one more big inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly release. And then option for Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose on the back. Soles of the feet together, knees can go wide. You can always place pillows, blankets, blocks maybe underneath the thighs. Finding support here. And then maybe right hand to the heart, left hand to the belly. See if you can snug the shoulder blades up underneath you. Maybe open and close the mouth. And just taking some time here to check in. Starting to reconnect back with the breath. Feeling that nice rise and fall of the chest, of the belly. Maybe feeling the heart rate. Connecting with the heart chakra here, Anahata. And then you can stay here for as long as you like, but when you're ready, you can kind of grab for the outer thighs, gently close the legs like a book. So keeping the feet together, the knees together, we'll find a nice twist. So we'll go to the left to start, so hips will bump to the right, knees to the left, a gentle twist. So you can always stack the legs or slide a bolster, a pillow, maybe a blanket underneath the left thigh or the right shoulder. We're going to take about 5 to 8 rounds of breath here. Nice twist to start. And then gaze can stay up, or maybe chin starts to fall to the right. Let's see if you can create space here between the vertebrae. So think about lengthening out the spine and doing the opposite, kind of what gravity, what our posture may do in compressing the vertebrae. So finding length here, finding some space. Take a big inhale. Gently twist as you exhale. Beautiful. 2, 3 more rounds of breath. Make sure to adjust if you need to. And if there's anything you're holding on to here, give the mind permission to let it go. Take a deep inhale. Gently twist as you exhale. And then stay if you need to, but whenever you're ready, we'll take it to the other side. Knees come back up to center. Slide the hips to the left. Knees can fall to the right. You can always keep the gaze up. Maybe you want to explore twisting up in the cervical spine, the neck here. You can even just slightly send the gaze to the left. See how that feels. If it doesn't feel great, no need to do it. Send the gaze back to center. Really thinking of kind of rinsing the spine out here like a dirty wash rag. So inhales, lengthening crown of the head, it kind of reaches towards the wall behind you, lengthening it out. And then as you exhale, gently twist. See if you're clenching, gripping. See if you can soften 2, 3 more rounds of breath. And take one more big inhale. Gently twist as you exhale. And then whenever you're ready, slowly release. Stay for as long as you need to though. Coming back to center, maybe knees to the chest again, or nice full body stretch, whatever the spine, your body's calling for here. And then we're going to come into a seated position, so you can rock forward and back, kind of give the spine a nice massage, or you can even kind of roll to one side. Think a fetal pose here, and slowly press yourself up. And then you can always grab a pillow, a blanket, maybe sit on it. But go ahead, cross at the ankles or sit on the shins. Any comfortable seat that feels good to you. And then allow your sit bones to ground down. Find a little engagement into the belly, the center. Drawing the core muscles in to help you lift up. So gravity's pulling us down, core will lift us up. And then soften the shoulders back. And then see if you can add that little tuck of the chin. You can even reach back, kind of touch the back of the neck, making sure there's no vertebrae poking out. And just right away, kind of feel this connection with the spine here. Grounding down, but lifting, rising up. So keeping space in the spine, allowing those chakras, those wheels to spin, allowing for the prana, your life force, the energy to flow through. And then you can stay here, hang out in Sukhasana, easy pose, easy seat. Or take a big inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Maybe start to send the gaze up. And then as you exhale, gently reach to the left hand down, right arm up overhead. So nice side body stretch here. Keep the right hip rooting down. Reach up and over with the right fingertips. So listen to the low back. See if you're kind of flaring forward. Keep the core muscles pulling in. And breathe some space into the right side. You can always stay here or maybe explore the neck. Left ear can kind of slowly lower towards the left shoulder, breathing into the right side. Making sure to adjust if you need to. Still trying to lengthen both sides here. Try not to collapse into the left. And then take one more big inhale. Gently reach up and over as you exhale. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back up to center. Take an inhale. Then exhale, reach up and over to the right. Right hand can go down, left hand goes up and then over. Keep the belly pulling in, so the core is still engaged, lifting you up so you're not arching the low back. And then you can always explore setting the right ear slowly down towards the right shoulder, kind of letting the head go here, letting those neck muscles to relax, and maybe lengthening out to the left side. But if it doesn't feel right, no need to do it. Make sure to adjust. Belly in, big inhale. Gently reach up and then over as you exhale. And then whenever you're ready, slowly come back up to center. Release hands to the ground. Feel free to explore. Walk the hands forward, side to side. Maybe go to the right and then to the left. See how the inner thighs feel. And slowly releasing, coming back up to center. And then if you are seated cross-legged, option to switch out the leg, maybe cross the opposite leg on top. And then find that engagement through the center, belly in. And then we'll kind of explore eagle arms and stretch up the upper back. So inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And then exhale, eagle arms, Garudasana, right arm underneath the left. So you can just cross at the elbows, maybe grab for opposite shoulders. Or right hand can kind of grab for the left forearm, the left wrist. Kind of see how that feels. And then wherever you're at, see if you can start to draw the elbows forward. So your scapulas, your shoulder blades, see if you can draw them away from one another, away from the spine, creating some space in the upper back. And then option 2, take some movement here, cat-cow. As you inhale, just find a little back bend, lift the gaze, the arms. And then as you exhale, cat, rounding the spine, elbows pull in, maybe chin draws to the chest. Couple more here, big inhale, slowly lift, little back bend, try to keep the core engaged. Exhale, cat, draw the elbows in, round the spine. And one more big inhale, lift the arms, maybe the gaze. Exhale, cat back, pull it in. And then option to stay here. So chin can come towards the chest. Really breathe into the back of the neck. But see if you can draw your heart towards the wall behind you. So really breathing into the back body here. You can stay or explore some movements, maybe some half circles. Might feel good kind of holding one ear to one side. But keep pressing your heart to the wall behind you. One more round of breath. And then slowly chin back to the chest. Inhale, unwind the arms, reach them up overhead. And then when you're ready, release, shake it out. Good, roll the shoulders up and down. Maybe just see how you feel here. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So whenever you're ready, sit bones ground down, belly pulls in, take an inhale, arms can come up overhead. And then eagle arms, left underneath the right. Maybe cross at elbows, grab for opposite shoulders. Or you can explore the left hand kind of grabbing for the right wrist, maybe the right forearm. But start to draw your elbows towards, the front. So finding some space here in the upper back. And then feel free to stay here, or option to flow through cat-cow. As you inhale, a little lift, maybe the arms, the gaze. And then as you exhale, cat back, pull the elbows in, round the spine, chin can come to the chest. Good. 2 more rounds. Inhale, lift, cow. Exhale, cat, elbows pull in, chin to the chest. Beautiful. One more. Inhale, little back bend, heart lifts. Exhale, cats, and then feel free to stay here. So right away, see if you can press your heart to the wall behind you. Maybe chin can come towards the chest, breathing into the back of the neck. Hang out here, find some half circles, find some movements. Feel free to hold wherever it feels best. And one more round of breath here. But whenever you're ready, chin comes back to the chest. Slowly unwind. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And then one more time, release, hands to the ground. Walk the hands forward. Maybe kind of sway it out. But just check in. The shoulders were definitely working there. Anytime the arms are up overhead, know that the shoulders are working. So give some love, some gratitude for your strong shoulders there. And you can come back to center, slowly release. And then let's come into tabletop. So shift your weight to one side, come onto all fours. You can always place a blanket underneath the knees. Once in tabletop position, feel free to explore. Maybe sway the hips side to side. Maybe take some half circles. If you like cat-cow, that movement we just took from a seated position, you can always flow through cat-cow, kind of playing with the spine, finding some movements here in the pelvis. But take about 3 to 5 rounds of breath, whatever feels good. Know that you can always come back to a seat, or feel free to come back into child's pose. And then you can stick with the movement in cat-cow or tabletop, or option for puppy dog pose. So a little bit different than child's pose. The hips are going to stay on top of the knees. And we kind of open up the shoulders and the chest. So you don't have to go far, but if this doesn't feel right, know to skip it. But hands will start to come forward as you start to melt your heart towards the ground. So your forehead, your chest may not be anywhere near the ground. But see if you can allow the upper body to relax, maybe slowly letting the forehead draw towards the ground. You can even, tabletop the fingers, lifting through the wrists, breathing here into the chest. Finding the back bend here. Take a big inhale. Allow the heart to melt as you exhale. And then whenever you're ready, slowly release, coming back up to tabletop. Shake it out. And then we're going to come into that toe screaming pose or lightning bolt pose. So you can keep the feet flat on the ground, or maybe you tuck the toes under. All right, so take this, in stages. So you can stay here with the toes tucked under. Maybe just allow the hips to slowly drop back. The hands can always stay on the ground, but you can walk those hands back even more, maybe slowly letting the hips kind of draw towards the heels. And then maybe you start to, walk the hands back and come into lightning bolt pose. So shoulders, or I think this is thunderbolt pose. Shoulders will stay on top of the hips, belly stays in. And then just see what's happening here in the feet, the toes, maybe the ankles. And again, I do call this toe screaming pose. Your toes may feel like they're screaming here. And we'll try to hold for maybe 3-5 rounds of breath, but know at any point you can always come out. Feeling some space here in the feet, the toes. Really important too if you wear shoes all day long. Try to relax the shoulders, soften them down away from the ears. Maybe open and close the mouth. And then see if you can come back here to the breath. Reset, take a deep inhale. Slowly let it go as you exhale. Good. And then whenever you're ready, take your time, come back forward, hands to the ground. Untuck the toes, and you can kind of just pat your feet here. So just find a couple, little gentle taps, maybe kind of fluttering the feet, kicking the feet. Good. And then from here, child's pose. Big toes can touch, knees can go wide, send the hips back. You can allow a pillow to come behind you, letting the pillow rest on the thigh, or the hips rest on the pillow. And then you can always place your forehead to the ground, or maybe a block or your fist, but reset here. Try to relax, and then see if you come back to the breath, back to your focal points. Feeling at peace, feeling connected, and also feeling balanced. Try not to force it, but also, not being too passive here, finding that middle ground between the two. And take a deep inhale. See if you can send the breath to the back body, the back of the lungs. Feel the back body rise. And then as you exhale, maybe allow the crown of the head to reach forward as you allow the heart to draw towards the ground. And one more big inhale. Fill the back body. Feel the back body rise. Slow exhale. Allow the crown of the head to draw forward. Soften the shoulders back. And then stay here in child's pose as long as you want. When you're ready, slowly coming back up into tabletop. And then you can stay here, or option for Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. So for down dog, walk the hands forward. Check up the hands, make sure they're active. So you're gently gripping the fingertips, the knuckles into the ground. Root down to the heels of the hands. So really active hands, and then tuck the toes under, send the hips high. Finding any movements here to start, maybe pedal up the legs, gently sway the hips, shake the head yes, shake it no. But as you explore your first down dog, keep the hands really active. So thinking about shifting the weight from, the hands, the wrists, towards the shoulders into the belly. So you're not dumping the weight forward, press the ground away, see if you can lift up. And then you're gonna find kind of this rotation of the arms, the inner elbows, the armpits will kind of roll inward up towards the ceiling, finding space in the upper back. And then see if you can relax the head. And then draw the belly in, the front ribs in. Try not to arch the low back here as best as you can. Spine is trying to stay neutral. And then explore bending the legs. Give the body, the back body especially, some freedom here with the legs being bent. But feel free to draw the heels to the ground. Don't worry if the heels don't touch. And know the shoulders are definitely working as you create some space here in the back of the body. Maybe take one more round of breath. And then whenever you're ready, you can walk your hands back to your toes, or your toes to your hands, whatever feels best. And then taking a ragdoll for a couple rounds of breath, nice relaxed standing forward fold. Feet can be hip width distance, bend the legs, let the upper body be heavy. And any variation of the arms, you can cross the arms at elbows, maybe interlace the fingers behind the head, gently drawing the chin to the chest. Maybe a chest expansion grip. See if you can soften the toes, gently shift the weight forward to the balls of the feet. Keep a little bend in the legs and then lift from your sit bones. And then you can stay here as long as you want, but whenever you're ready, slowly release. Keep a little bend in the legs, slowly rise. Take your time here, let the arms, the head be heavy. Once you reach the top, you can roll the shoulders up and down, maybe roll the head and the neck. And then you can slowly make your way to the top of your space, your mat, wherever you may be. And then we'll start into Dasana mountain pose. So if you can be hip width distance, maybe work the feet in a little bit, just making sure the feet are right underneath the hips. And then draw the feet down, soften the toes, arches of the feet will start to lift. Feel your strong legs. And then see if you're kind of kicking your butt up behind you and flaring the ribs forward. See if you can, find, the action of the core muscles drawing in and making sure you're not over tucking here. Find that balance between the two. And then soften the shoulders back, palms can shine forward here. Crown of the head lifts. And then add that little tuck of the chin, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. And just feeling the ground, the earth underneath you, rooting down. Feel your core muscles, your power from the center lifting you up. And then go ahead, take a deep inhale here. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Good, we'll take a couple half sun salutations tonight. Big inhale, extend it to Dasana, reach the arms up overhead, maybe send the gaze up, take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, forward fold, keep a bend in the legs, try to keep the spine long. Slowly come all the way down to the ground. Once you're there, halfway lift, palms can come to your shins or feel free to use your blocks. But holding here, really feeling this length in the posture. Crown of the head reaches forward, tailbone reaches back. And then see if you can slide your shoulder blades down the spine. Pull the belly in, the front ribs in, so you're not arching the low back here. And then take an inhale, find a little more space. As you exhale, forward fold, release, let it go. Now keep a little bend in the legs, keep the core engaged. Inhale, rising, keeping the spine long. Slowly lift back up, extend into Dasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Pull it into center. Take a breath or two, reset. See if you need to adjust. And then we'll take that one more time, just flowing, and then we're going to kind of add on a little bit tonight. So feel free to go at your own pace. But big inhale, extend it to Dasana, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Keep a little bit in the legs, ride the breath, come all the way down. And then inhale to your halfway lift, palms to shins or to the blocks. Draw your core muscles in, engage, take a deep inhale. Exhale, forward fold, release. A little bend in the legs, rooting down, rising up. Big inhale, extended to Dasana. And then exhale, hands to heart, pull it in. Good. Awesome job. Reset. See if you need to adjust. And then we're going to take the flow, but we're going to add on a little bit. So when you're ready, inhale, extend it to Dasana, reach the arms up overhead, grow tall. Exhale, forward fold, ride it down. And then when you're ready, big inhale, halfway lift. From here, the left foot is going to step back. So take your time, bend into the legs as much as you need to, hands to the blocks or to the ground, but slowly step your left foot back. And then you're going to come onto the left knee. Feel free to roll your mat up or place a blanket underneath. And then hands can stay on the ground. Making sure your right foot and your left knee are about hip width distance, nice sturdy base. And then you can stay here, hands to blocks, or maybe start to lift hands to the hips. So gently press the back of the left foot down. Feel that connection, feeling that support. And then bringing your awareness to the belly. So you see if you're kind of, flaring forward, pull the belly in. And as you pull the belly in, you may start to feel some space in the left psoas. But if you don't, see if you can kind of find a little activation through the left glute. So start to squeeze the left glute. The left hip will drop forward. So we're trying to find some space here in the psoas, the front of the hip, and maybe into your quad. So belly in, squeeze the left glutes, press down through the top of the left foot. And then you can stay here, or maybe start to lift the left arm up overhead. And then you can always hang out or slowly start to reach up and over to the right. So lifting up out of the left hip, keep squeezing the left glutes, drawing the navel in. Beautiful, beautiful work. And take one more big inhale. Gently reach up and then over as you exhale. And then take your time, slowly coming back up. Hands will come to the ground. And then option for half splits. So great place to use blocks if you have them. If you don't have them, keep it bent in the right leg as much as you need it. But start to draw the hips back, starting to straighten through the right leg. And you don't want to let the hips go too far back. Try to keep the hips on top of the left knee. So if you need to, maybe slide the right foot forward. And then you can always explore flexing the right foot towards the face. And then, kind of play here if you want. See what happens when you kind of sway the hips right and left, forward and back. You want to find a spot where you can really breathe space into the back of the right thigh, your hamstring. So option to really draw the right hip back. So kind of thinking of kind of sliding the right heel to the wall behind you without actually moving the right heel. Shoulders away from the ears, crown of the head reaches forward, belly draws in. And remember, keep a bend in the right leg as much as you need it. So if you can't touch the ground and the fingertips are lifted, place a bend in the right leg so you can, find freedom to let the hands come to the ground. One more round of breath here. Big inhale. Stay for the exhale. Good. And then whenever you're ready, slowly coming back to center, low lunge, bend back into the right leg, coming back forward. And then tonight we're going to take a variation of warrior two. So right foot will stay forward, left leg's going to kick behind you, right? So that left foot is pointing to the wall behind me. Right toes point forward, left knee is kind of opening up towards the left side. Now first you can stay here, but walk your hand to the inside of your right foot, okay? And then the right knee is going to gently draw away. So maybe find some space here in the inner right thigh. And then you can stay here. Hands can always come to the blocks, or you can always explore maybe really walking the hands over towards the left corner. Hands can always come off the mat. But gently drawing the right knee away, still squeezing through the left glutes, belly in. And then as best as you can, see if you can relax the head and the neck. Take one more big inhale. Breathe into the right hip as you exhale. And then your choice. If this feels good tonight, you can definitely hang out, or maybe warrior two, kneeling or standing. So I'm going to stay in the back knee, but you can always lift up. The hands kind of walk back to center, and then slowly lift up, hands to the hips. Stay there, or reach the arms forward and back. So right fingertips forward, left fingertips back, making sure the shoulders aren't towards the ears. Try to relax the shoulders back. Right knee is still driving away. Belly pulling in, keeping the core engaged to grow tall. And you might find a little bit of activation through the left glute. So try not to over grip, but see if you can gently use the left glute muscle here. And one more big inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then you can hang out here. One more thing, side angle. So right forearm can come to thigh, left hand can reach down, and then maybe explore some circles with the left arm. So these circles can be, as small or as big as you want, or feel free to skip them. And then you can take those circles the other way. And then we'll meet in side angle pose. So left fingertips can kind of lift high, or maybe start to extend. Left fingertips can reach up overhead, maybe left palm face down, and left ear kind of in line with the left bicep. Let's see if you're kind of drawing the left shoulder towards the ear, so you can kind of soften the shoulder back. And then pull the belly in so you're not arching the low back here, and start to lift the heart. So you might find this huge left side body stretch. And then one more big inhale. Gently reach as you exhale. Good. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly come back down to the ground. And then you're going to come back to that low lunge. So left leg is going to kick back behind you. Frame out the right foot. And then let's come off the back knee. So tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee. Okay. Now if you have blocks, a great place to use them here. You can kind of place those hands under the blocks. But maybe start to wiggle the left foot forward a little bit. And then think of your halfway lift here. See if you can lift the belly off the left thigh. Take an inhale. And then whenever you're ready, you can start to walk your left foot forward, back to the top of your mat, forward fold. Shake it out. Maybe see how one side may feel a little bit different than the other. And then take your time, slowly rise. You can kind of roll yourself up here. Once you reach the top, roll the shoulders up and down. Maybe find some little circles here in the neck. And then feel free to find some stillness. Soften the shoulders back. You can find a focal point out in front of you, or maybe come back to the breath. Allowing the breath here to help you reset. And then take a deep inhale, fill up. If you need it to open mouth, exhale, let it go. Good. And then one more side. Awesome job, everyone. Inhale, extended Tadasana. Reach the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, forward fold. Slowly ride the breath all the way down. And then you can grab those blocks if you have them. Take a halfway lift. And then the right foot will step back. So bend the legs as much as you need to. Maybe plant the hands. Slowly slide. Walk the right foot back. Find that low lunge position and then come on to the right knee. So making sure your left foot, your right knee are about hip width distance. And then the top of the right foot will draw down. Stay here. Hands can always come to the blocks. Or maybe start to lift up and place the hands at the hips. Okay. So Anjaneyasana, kneeling lunge. We're going to focus more on the psoas here and into the right quad. So keep that support, draw the right foot down, and then really engage the center and even kind of the pelvis muscles here. So pulling the belly in, right hip will draw forward as you start to activate the right glute. So kind of squeeze the right glute. So right hip draws forward, left hip draws back. So you might even feeling some space here in the front of the hip and into the right quad. And then your choice, feel free to stay. Our right hand can lift high. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, gently reach up and then over to the left. So keep drawing the right hip forward, belly in, and then gently squeeze through the right glute. So like I said earlier, these psoas muscles are usually compressed and usually weak. So it's really important to lengthen them out and to also work them. They're connected to the low back, so sometimes they can cause us some low back pain. And take one more big inhale. Gently reach up and over as you exhale. And then whenever you're ready, slowly coming back up. Hands back to the ground, maybe to your blocks. And then option for half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. So start to send the hips back, straightening through the left leg. Great place to use those blocks here. And then making sure the hips are on top of the back knee. So you may want to slide the left foot forward. Feel free to maybe even flex the left toes towards the face. So bend into the left leg as much as you need it. And then you can always find movement here, see how that feels. But you want to find a spot where you can really breathe into the back of the left leg, the hamstring. So the left hip will start to draw back. The right hip will draw forward. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. And really think about the crown of the head reaching towards the front as the left hip reaches to the back. You can always explore bending at the elbows, but find a spot where you can breathe into the back of the left leg. Awesome work. One more big inhale. Maybe you gently fold as you exhale. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, coming back into the lunge. So plant the left foot, bend back into the left knee. You can kind of be over the ankle. And then setting up for kneeling warrior 2. So the right foot's going to kick behind you. So you can kind of pivot on the right knee. Right knee will point kind of towards the right side. Left toes point to the front. And then hands can come to the inside of the left leg. So take your time with this one. Stay here. And the left knee is going to draw away, breathing into the inner left thigh. You can even kind of walk the hands more forward towards the right corner, maybe even coming up onto the fingertips. And sometimes you can kind of think of downward dog in the upper body. So allowing the head to be heavy, but the left hip or the left knee is drawing back. And then relax the head here, soften through the jaw. And if you're feeling it here, great place to hang out. Or option for kneeling warrior 2. You can even come up to standing if you like as well. But coming back towards, the center, find support here, slowly rise, and then hands can come to hips. So now you're kind of lifting up out of the left hip here. Left knee still presses away, but this time see if you can add a little more activation through the right glute. So finding that space in the right psoas. Hands to hearts, to the hips, or maybe reach the arms forward and back. Feel free to work the shoulders tonight if that feels right. From the center, everything is engaging to lift you up, reversing that downward pull from gravity. Maybe gaze to the left, to the right, to listen to the neck here. Then take a big inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then hang out, or option for side angle. Left forearm will come down to the thigh. Right hand can reach down and then circle up towards the sky. So just see how the right shoulder feels. If it doesn't feel right, no need to do it. Circles can be as big or as small. And then option to take those circles the other way. And then feel free to find side angle. Right fingertips can reach straight up. Or maybe extend. Right fingertips can reach up overhead. Palm will face down. Kind of right ear is in line with the inner right arm. And then listen to the low back. See if you're, puffing the belly forward. See if you can engage the core muscles. Join the belly in to protect the low back. So you're going to find that natural lift up. And reach up and over through with the right fingertips. Big inhale. Reach as you exhale. Awesome job. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back down to the ground, meeting back in the low lunge. So you can start to kind of pivot forward. Right leg will come back behind you. Frame out the right foot. And then a little bit different this time. So option, to step back into down dog. So this might look a little funky. You can step back, or maybe left hand comes to the inside as you walk your left foot over to the edge and kind of gently slide, step it to the back. So downward dog, tabletop, whatever feels best here. But feel free to kind of pedal it out. Really press the ground away, belly in. And then you can stay in downward dog, tabletop for as long as you want. When you're ready, child's pose is where we'll meet. So slowly lowering down to tabletop if you're not there. And the knees can go wide, big toes to touch, send the hips back. Any variation of child's pose. Forehead can rest on the ground or maybe a block. You can always give the shoulders a break here, sending the fingertips back towards the toes. Start to wiggle out the jaw. Maybe rock the forehead side to side, massaging out the third eye. But then coming back to the breath, coming back to your focal point. Giving the mind permission to let go. To stay here, fully present with the body. And then take one more big inhale. Let it all go as you exhale. And then whenever you're ready, you can slowly lift up. Beautiful work. Maybe place a block off to the side, and then we're going to come on to the back. Gently make your way onto the spine. Beautiful work. Once you're on the back, you can send the knees to the chest. maybe full body stretch. If you like happy baby, you can stamp your feet onto the ceiling. Maybe just grab for the back of the thighs and gently draw the knees towards the edges of the ground. You can always explore grabbing for the edges of the feet, the inside or the outside. But if you're taking this variation as best as you can, see if you can keep the low back kind of drawing towards the ground. So happy baby is a little back bend for the middle part of your spine. So the low back draws down, the shoulder blades draw down, and maybe the middle part of the spine lifts up. Sometimes we tend to do the opposite though and lift the low back off the ground. And then whenever you're ready, slowly release. And place the feet on the ground. Maybe kind of gently windshield over the legs side to side. Let the head rock heavy. And I'm going to set up for a couple, back bends here on the back. So bridge pose. If you have a block, we're going to take 2 rounds. So great place to hang out in a supported bridge. Maybe the lowest height of the block or maybe more of the middle height. But just like we did in the beginning, feet will come hip width distance. You can always kind of reach the fingertips back towards the heels. And then right away, see if you can find a little engagement through the belly. So draw the belly in. Kind of feel the pelvis kind of rock forward. And then when you're ready, slowly draw the heels down, lift the hips. You can always slide that block underneath you, right on the sacrum, the flat part of your spine, and let the block do all the work. If you want a little more engagement to see if you're working the inner thighs, you can place that block between the thighs and kind of squeeze the block. But wherever you're at, find a place that feels right. See if you can snug the shoulder blades up underneath you, opening up the front of the body, the chest, the shoulders. But feel the heels rooting down, the inner thighs gently squeezing in, and the hips lifting as high as they want, or as high as they need to. And if you're on that block, you can really be passive here, just relax. But wherever you're at, make sure to breathe. Now, if you're on that block, you can stay or take one more big inhale. And then when you're ready, you can slowly release. Allow the low back to gently draw towards the ground. Maybe open and close the mouth. Let that go. And then option for one more back bend. So not a ton of back bending tonight, so feel free to take this or skip it. But one more time when you're ready, bridge pose, set to bandha. Draw the heels down, gently lift the hips. So you can stay on that block. But if you're active, draw the heels down, inner thighs draw in. Gaze can be straight up or maybe even close the eyes. Let's see if you can bring the mind back here to the breath. Take a deep inhale. Stay for the exhale. Last big inhale here. And then when you're ready, slowly release. And then Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees can go wide. Maybe shimmy the shoulder blades underneath you. Right hand can come to the heart, left hand can come to the belly. Blocks can always slide underneath the thighs. But kind of feeling what's happening here. Maybe feeling the heart beating a little faster. And then seeing if you can start to slow it down. Maybe exploring a belly breath here. As you inhale, feel the belly, the left hand start to rise. And then as you exhale, slowly feel the belly soften. Let it go. Allowing the body to come back to that rest and digest state, activating the parasympathetic nervous system. And then you can stay here for as long as you want. Maybe grab for the outer thighs, gently close the legs, bring the knees together, walk the feet to the outer edges of the mat. Constructive rest pose, allowing the low back to draw towards the ground. One more time, lengthening out the psoas in front of the hips. You can always cactus the arms. You can find any movement here, or you can hang out in stillness. Might feel good to kind of rock the head side to side. Maybe rock the knees. But too, this constructive rest pose can be great to kind of lengthen out the low back, the psoas. This can also be a great variation for Shavasana. Might feel a little more kinder on the low back. Then feel free to stay here, or maybe legs up the wall, waterfall pose. So you can start to lift one leg, maybe the other. Hands can always grab for behind the thighs. Find that support if you need it. This is also a great posture to do against the wall, legs up the wall. But finding any movement. So the crown chakra is associated with, the lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like the heart. So, to find that movement of lymph, we need to move the body. And the legs up the wall is great to find movement of lymph. So any lymph that's hanging out in the feet, the ankles, the legs, kind of reversing that fluid, that downward pull from gravity, and letting, gravity do the work here, sending the lymph down towards, the lymph nodes that are in the inner thighs to maybe help release that lymph, which would be maybe some bacteria that's hanging out in the body. And you can stay here for as long as you want, or when you're ready, you can slowly bring the legs back down. Maybe grab at the thighs, the shins, the knees. Maybe curl into a ball. The forehead can always draw towards the knees as well. Give yourself a hug, squeeze it all together. But whenever you're ready, you can release and find your way into Shavasana corpse pose. You can always slide those blocks, maybe roll up a blanket, place support underneath the knees. You can slide the shoulder blades up underneath you, keeping space between the shoulders and the ears. And then before we find stillness in Shavasana, option to give yourself a little neck, a little head massage. So you can kind of take the peace fingers, or maybe the 3 fingers, the pointer, the middle, and the ring, and you can just kind of grab the back of the head, the back of the skull, kind of where the neck and the skull meets, and you can just kind of grab, gently press the skin from the back of the head, kind of draw it all the way towards the middle, maybe kind of pull it up towards the crown, really creating some length in the back of the neck and the back of the skull. So you can do this as many times as you want, reaching for the back of the neck, the back of the skull, gently pushing, sliding the skin towards the middle, towards the crown of the head. You can do this a couple of times, and then allow the back of the head to slowly rest on the ground, or you can even slide a blanket underneath the head here to let the head feel supported, and then letting the arms relax off to the side. See if you can soften the shoulders, and then the palms can be face up to receive tonight, or maybe allow the palms to face down to feel the earth, to feel grounded. Checking in with those tension areas, soften the face, the jaw, maybe remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Soften the shoulders. Allow the belly, the low back to relax. Start to soften through the glutes. Relax the legs, the toes, the feet. body to just be. Maybe letting go of any muscle activation, allowing the body to find some rest. And an option to carry that rest up into the mind, giving the mind space to just be. To not overanalyze, overthink, but to take some time to be here with the breath. And an option to stay here with the breath, hanging out with that rise and fall of the chest of the body. Or option to bring your awareness to the base of the spine. Start to imagine this red ball of energy spinning at the tailbone, where the root chakra, Muladhara, is found. Feeling safe, grounded, connected, and supported to not only your physical body, but also with the earth. Repeat to yourself mentally, I ground down to rise up. Now moving from this place of security up to the sacral chakra, the Svadhisthana. Start to imagine this orange ball of energy spinning at the pelvis, right below the navel. Connecting with this place of creativity, imagination, and emotional balance. Feeling empowered to create and share your unique ideas from a place of openness. Repeat to yourself, I allow creative energy to flow through me. Now moving from this place of openness up to the solar plexus chakra, Manipura. Start to imagine this yellow ball of energy spinning at your center, your belly. Connecting with this place of inner strength, courage, and motivation. Feeling worthy and capable of connecting to your purpose and sharing your purpose. Repeat to yourself, I am enough. Now moving from this place of empowerment up to the heart chakra, Anahata. Start to imagine this green ball of energy spinning at the chest. Feel love, compassion, and gratitude flowing throughout the whole body. Find acceptance and love for yourself and other living beings. Repeat to yourself, I am loved. Now moving from this place of joy and kindness up to the throat chakra, Vashuddha. Start to imagine this blue ball of energy spinning at the throat. Feel connected to expressing yourself on all levels so you can live an authentic life. Repeat to yourself, I deserve to be heard and understood. Now moving from this place of communication and speaking your truth up to the third eye chakra, Anja. Start to imagine this purple ball of energy spinning at your third eye, the place between the eyebrows. Feel connected with your inner wisdom, your intuition. Allow yourself to find trust within so it can expand your vision for the future, breaking through any limitations. Repeat to yourself, I am guided by my own intuition. Now moving from this place of inner guidance up to the crown chakra, Sahasrara. Start to imagine this ball of pure white light spinning right above the crown of the head. Feel whole, feel balanced, feel connected. Connected with yourself and with the universe, drawing yourself closer to the oneness of all beings, letting go of any feelings of isolation, heaviness, and hopelessness. Start to feel peace, love, and the meanings you desire. Repeat to yourself, I am peaceful, whole, and connected. Lastly, start to feel this pure white light expanding to the whole body. Back down the spine, out the arms, and down the legs. Allow this pure white light that is filled with support, creativity, inner strength, love, truth, intuition, and peace spread throughout the whole body. Now allow that pure white light to expand out of the body, out of the crown of the head, out of the fingertips, out of the heart, and out of the toes. Sending support, creativity, strength, love, truth, intuition, and peace to every being. Allowing this light to fill your home, your community, and this earth. And then option to take this energy you created for yourself tonight and share it with everyone, every being, allowing yourself to live more from a place of love and gratitude. So for the next few moments, feel free to stay here, feeling that pure white light within, but also sharing it without. If you have lost the breath, if you've lost the pure white light within, no worries. Being mindful of it and then bringing it back. And feel free to stay here in your meditation for as long as you would like. But whenever you're ready, slowly start to reawaken. Maybe wiggle the fingers, the toes. Gently roll the ankles, the wrists. Let the head rock heavy side to side. An option to take a nice full body stretch. Reach the arms up overhead, send the legs long. Take some wiggles. And you can start to send the knees to the chest. Stay here or feel free to rock to your favorite side for fetal pose, using the bottom arm as a pillow. Maybe taking some time here to reflect, but allowing for rebirth. Allowing for new opportunities. And then whenever you're ready, you can slowly press up to a seat. Cross the ankles and on the shins. We find some little movements here. Hands can rest on the thighs. Start to feel the sit bones rooting down, the belly pulling in, the shoulders soft, the crown of the head lifting. Connecting with the spine, connecting with the length, the strength in the spine that you may have created tonight. And finding some gratitude for yourself. Thanking yourself for being here, for showing up, for taking time out of your busy day to turn inward. Go ahead, take a deep inhale in through the nose. Fill up with gratitude for yourself. Open mouth, exhale, share it off. And then hands can come to heart center for Anjali Mudra, sealing in our practice. But I thank you all for being here. I thank this beautiful practice of yoga for bringing us together. And from my heart to yours, with so much gratitude, I bow. Thank you, thank you.